Hey, how's it going? I'm back with another video regarding the Arri Alexa Classic that I recently picked up. Today I thought I'd talk about the Classic built out for studio use. Last week I looked at the basic build that you could get started with in a shoulder rig configuration, and that was sort of the minimum build that you could do to get going with your Alexa after you bought it. Today I'm going to look at building it out a little bit further so that it would be usable in a studio setting. And in order to do that, we're going to need a number of components to get it up to a full studio build that we wouldn't have necessarily with the shoulder rig. So what are the components that we're adding today? First of all, we're adding monitor recorder. So we're going to use the Odyssey Convergent Designs Odyssey 7Q Plus, which is a Arriraw capable recorder. We're going to add an audio interface so that we can have a scratch audio track that will help us when syncing with our external audio. We're going to add a focus control, a focus motor and controller so that we can focus the camera while I'm in shot. And in order to focus, we'll need a monitor, an external monitor, and I'm using the Axun Cine-i HDMI transmitter out from our Odyssey recorder to focus the camera. All of these things are sitting on the original Focus HD tripod head and legs, which has a 12 kilo payload limit. What does it take to get us up to a studio build? There's a few Arri specific components required, one of which is the bridge plate. There's a couple of bridge plates that are needed. And then in addition to the bridge plates, you're also going to need a Arri dovetail plate to interface with your tripod plate. So it's a number of sort of adapter plates in order to get the Arri mounted onto the tripod. And then in addition to that, we have a set of rails, 15mm rails that are mounted into the onboard rail mounts on the Alexa. The only thing that is supporting in this configuration right now is the focus motor. And I'm using the small rig Magic Fizz system. I have a couple of the focus motors, and I have the little controller, hand controller. That's very useful when we're doing something like this where I'm a single operator recording myself. I'm able to focus, and then using the Axun Cine-i, I have a HDMI out from the Convergent Design Odyssey, transmitting that to my iPhone so that I can gain focus. So that's our focusing mechanism. Now for our scratch audio track, we have the 5-pin XLR cable. That is a Arri, I don't think it's a Arri specific component, but it is the only way that you can get audio into the Arri Alexa Classic is through this 5-pin XLR. And that 5-pin XLR breaks out to two 3-pin XLRs. And what I've done is I've patched into that with a Tascam DR100 recorder. Now that recorder I picked up recently while I was purchasing some lav mics, some body pack transmitter receivers, and it was included with that kit, but it's malfunctioning in the sense that it doesn't recognize SD cards. But what it can be used as is a mic preamp, and then it has onboard mics. So what I've done with it is just velcroed it onto the side of the Arri Alexa, and then using the onboard mics, we're getting a scratch track into the Alexa. And we're recording both internally to the S/S cards in ProRes 4444 2K. And then in addition to that, with the record out SDI on the Alexa, we're going into the Convergent Designs Odyssey 7Q Plus, recording Arriraw 2.8K. So we have dual recording going on right now. You can actually do triple recording. You can also record dual recording mode, which will record to both of the internal S/S cards simultaneously. So you have redundant recording there as well. So this is basically I'll call it minimal studio build in order to record myself in my little office here. That's what I need in order to be able to do that. I guess you could get away without having the scratch audio, but it would be really hard to sync the audio in post with the external recorder. Oh, I should mention that I'm recording audio externally as well with the Sound Devices MixPre 3, and I have a Rode NT5 small condenser mic mounted just out of shot here on a boom arm going into the MixPre 3, and that's recording my audio. I attempted to record this video. In fact, I recorded this entire video earlier without the external audio and just tried to do it with the built-in scratch recorder on the Arri Alexa, but the sound was very noisy. The noise floor was very high. I tried to edit it out using Davinci Resolve and tried to do like the noise reduction, audio noise reduction filter. It worked pretty good, but I didn't like the audio. It was very canny and it wasn't good. So I decided I'm going to re-record the video, and this time I will do it properly with proper sound. So that's the way we've got it built out right now. Now, with this build, we're within sort of the constraints of the Cartoni Focus HD tripod. That has a max weight capacity of about 26 pounds or 12 kilograms. And that's one of the big issues with the Alexa, is if you're going to buy it, you really need support that can handle it. And the Focus HD was something that I bought several years ago in anticipation of potentially one day buying the Alexa. I knew that I would need like support for a heavy camera, and I picked this one up very inexpensively locally in the Vancouver area. It has a small issue with the locking mechanism on the tripod plate lock, but it works perfectly, but the lever itself is broken, so there isn't as much lever sticking out. Fully functional, but it does make it a little more difficult to lock and unlock. However, in the configuration that we've got right now, you can slide the Alexa onto the dovetail plate, so the tripod plate remains locked in place in any case, so it's not a problem. The lens that I'm using on the system right now is the Canon 17 to 40 f4L lens, kind of wide lens. I've got it at about 35 millimeters, which on the Super 35 sensor is a field of view equivalent to approximately 50 millimeters. And that's what we're shooting on right now. So that's just a little bit of an overview of how to get this camera built up to a studio build. I think the big advantage to a build like this is the ability to shoot externally to the recorder and get Arriraw. So that's something that you would have needed the codecs recorder option that came later. I'm not sure exactly when that recorder was introduced, but it was a couple of years, I believe, after the Classic originally launched. So the only option with this camera to record Arriraw is through, as far as I know, the Convergent Designs, either the Odyssey 7Q or the Odyssey 7Q Plus. And one of the things that I wanted to point out about that is if you own one of the recorders and you have the RAW activation code, that RAW activation code will also allow you to record ProRes RAW or Cinema DNG from, say, a Sony FS700. And that's how I originally got the recorder, was with one of my Sony FS700s. And at the time when I got the Convergent Design Odyssey 7Q Plus with that FS700, I always knew that it was also compatible with the Alexa, so I wanted to hold on to it. But if you have the Odyssey or Odyssey 7Q or 7Q Plus with the RAW activation, you don't need anything on the Alexa side in order to record RAW. The Alexa outputs RAW through its SDI output. So that's how that whole Arriraw recording situation works on the Classic. I'm going to do another full video on recording Arriraw on the Alexa Classic in an upcoming video. I just thought I would mention it in the studio build because that's one of the most important parts of the build, is having the ability to record Arriraw. So that's everything for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you can like and comment and subscribe, that would be great. Really like the comments on my videos. I respond to all of them, and that's really what I'm interested in with this channel, is engaging with the community and talking to like-minded creators out there and hearing what you're doing. So keep up the commenting. I really enjoy it. If you're interested in this kind of content, also feel free to subscribe. That'd be great too. It's nice to see some numbers growing, and yeah, stay tuned for more of these videos in the future. Thanks again. Talk to you again soon. Bye.